Hi, I'm Sara Raymond with The Mindful Movement. Thanks so much for joining me today for this beginner's level Pilates practice. I'll be offering many modifications and variations, so please choose the variation that's appropriate for you today, making sure you're not working into any areas of pain or discomfort. Let's get started. To lying down on your back, and just make yourself comfortable, maybe closing your eyes. We'll start with a few deep breaths. Begin to breathe in through your nose, fill up your belly, your ribs, your chest, and then breathing out through your mouth like a sigh. Allow your body to settle down onto your mat. Let's take 2 more deep breaths like that, just getting yourself prepared and relaxed. So letting go of any tension in the body so that we can move as easily and effortlessly as possible. And now beginning to move your body with your breath. So we'll start with some pelvic tilts. So with your exhale, drawing the abdominals inward, the pelvis tips back into the mat. And then inhaling, you can arch your back, feeling your tailbone reach down towards the floor beneath you. I'll move my arm out of the way so you can see. So as you exhale, your hips rock back into the mat. And then as you inhale, the tailbone reaches down. We'll do that 2 more times, just moving with your breath. Loosening up the low back. And then you'll settle right into the middle of those 2 points. So you have a bit of a natural curve in your low back. Maybe your hip bones and pubic bone are level to one another. And then from there, we'll stabilize the pelvis there and pick one leg up as you exhale, just bringing the knee over the hip, and then inhale, lowering back down. And exhale, going to the other side. And inhale, lowering back down. We'll continue alternating the legs, noticing if you can feel your pelvis remain still on the mat beneath you. Do 1 more on each side like this. And then you can stay with this variation if it feels like an appropriate level of challenge for you, or you can bring one leg up into that tabletop position and then the other meets it. So now it's a little harder to hold your legs up here. So as we exhale, now we'll bring the leg down only as low as you can go, keeping the pelvis stable, and then inhale to lift it back up. And exhale the other leg, and inhale back up. We're just going as low as we can go without changing the position of the pelvis. Exhaling on the way down, that'll give you a little more support with the abdominals. And inhaling to lift back up. Let's do 1 more on each side. And then we'll lower one leg down and then the other. And then from there, let's lift the arms up towards the ceiling. And we'll start to move from the upper body. So nodding the chin toward the chest. Now with the exhale, we curl the head and shoulders up, reaching the arms towards the thighs. And then inhale, lowering down. So tucking the chin first, eye gaze towards the knees, and then curling the head and shoulders up. And inhaling down. If you feel any discomfort in the neck, you can cradle the head with the hands. The movement's the same, nodding the chin and curling up. And lowering back down. So either arm position is fine. We'll do 2 more, just beginning to find some activation in the abdominals and moving the spine. And then we're going to stay up in that position and start the 100. So we'll do a variation first with the feet down. So again, we nod the chin toward the chest, lengthen the back of the neck, and then curl the head and shoulders up, reaching your fingertips towards your feet. And then holding this position, we'll start to breathe in as we pump the arms. So you're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in and out and in and out. So you can continue here, or maybe we take the legs into that tabletop position. So it's a little bit more challenging to hold the pelvis stable. If your head and neck ever gets tired, you can put your head back down, take a little rest, and then bring it back up. We'll take one more full deep breath here and out. And then you pause the arms, lower the head back down. And I like to just bring my knees into my chest and rock side to side. And then maybe turning the head gently side to side. And then we'll just roll to one side to help yourself up to seated. We're going to come to a seated position with the feet about hip distance apart. And I'll have you start with your hands just behind your thighs. We're going to sit up as tall as we can to begin, and then round the spine as we roll backwards. So tilting the hips back, rolling down just to a point where your low back is round, your arms may straighten out, and then we round back up and restack the spine. So we'll try that a couple times using the exhale to pull the belly in to engage the abdominals, and then inhale to come up. And if you feel good there and you want a little more challenge, the arms reach out in front of you, exhaling to roll back. So we take away that support of the hands, and then inhale to come up. We'll do 2 more like that, exhaling to roll back and inhaling forward. 1 more time. And now you can stay with this half roll back variation, or if you're comfortable with a little bit more movement, we would straighten the legs out. And we start from tall and we'll go all the way back down to the floor. So as you exhale, same movement to start, the pelvis rolls back. And then as we get to the bottom, we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, now we roll all the way up, trying to round through the spine, keeping your feet on the ground. Maybe they reach forward like mine did. And then we'll round back. So exhaling, moving from the pelvis first. Inhaling, reaching the arms back. Exhaling to round yourself up as easily as you can. And we'll do 1 more, either full version or the half roll back from seated. And then let's just take a nice full body stretch here. So reaching your arms back, your legs out, maybe the back arches off the ground a little bit. And then we'll release the arms down. And we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. You can either keep the left knee bent or straighten it out. We'll just stretch through the back of the leg a little bit. So straightening and bending the knee a couple times. And then straightening the knee all the way, flex and point the ankle. And then as we go into leg circles, we want to try to keep the pelvis relatively still. So if that means bending your lifted leg or your lower leg just a little bit, that helps to level things out a little bit. You choose a position that feels pretty stable. The arms will be by your side, and then we're going to inhale, take the leg across the body without lifting the hip, and then exhale, lift it back up. Inhale, circle, exhale, lift. The lower leg is pressing down into the ground. We'll do 1 more in this direction and then go the other direction. So again, keeping the left hip anchored. Inhale to start the circle and exhale to finish. We'll do 1 more. And then we can hug our knee into our chest, take a couple deep breaths. A little bit of recovery before we go to the other side. And we'll start with a stretch on that left leg. So holding behind the thigh, straighten and bend the knee. And then hold the leg straight, flex and point the ankle. And then again, making any modifications that you need to help feel as level as you can. Lower leg is pressing into the mat, whether the knee is bent or straight. We're going to cross the body without lifting the hip and circle around. Inhale and exhale, really pressing that lower leg down. So you're feeling the legs are separating from one another. And then we'll go the other direction. Inhale, outside of the midline of the body, and then exhale, lifting up. One last time. And then again, hugging the knee in. Deep breaths here. Using that exhale to relax the muscles that just worked. From there, let's draw the abdominals in to find your stable pelvis. Bring one leg at a time into the tabletop position, and then we'll nod the chin toward the chest, curl the head and shoulders up, and this is called single leg stretch. So we're going to pull one knee in toward the chest as you straighten the other leg out, and then switch the legs. So you can inhale for 2 switches and exhale for 2. So keeping the pelvis relatively stable. So you'll find if you go too low with the leg, the back arches. So we want to keep the legs at a height that you can stay stable. And we'll do one more on each side. And then hugging the knees in, lower the head down. And know that for any of these abdominal exercises, you can always put your head down if you need a rest for your neck. We'll just rock from side to side a moment here. And then we're going to try the single straight leg stretch. So we'll again curl the head and shoulders up. We'll take the legs as straight as we can toward the ceiling. And then we're going to lower one leg as you pull the other leg in. So only as low as you can keep your pelvis again stable. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So again, stable through the spine and pelvis. If you need to lower your head, you do. This can also be done with a slightly bent knee if that's a better alignment for you. One more on each side. Good. And then again, bending the knees, lowering the head down. You can turn your head side to side. Good. And then lowering the feet down. We'll start with a variation of crisscross where the feet are on the mat. So it's a nice stable position for your pelvis. You can either interlace your fingers or stack your hands, but cradle the base of the head. So it's very supported here. Your shoulders are down away from your ears and the neck is relaxed. So as we start our exhale, we're going to curl up and rotate the shoulders towards the right. So the left shoulder goes diagonally across towards that right hip, and we come back to center on the inhale. And then exhale, twisting over towards the other side. Keep going a couple times like this. Exhaling, shoulder to opposite hip. Inhaling to center. So you can stick with this variation if that feels good for you. Or the next time you go towards your right, you'll pick your right knee up and pull it in towards your opposite shoulder. So you're still using your exhale as you twist and inhale to center. And then the last variation, if you'd like to try it, we'll start from tabletop with both legs. And then we're going towards the bent knee, extending the other leg, just like our single leg stretch. Pulling knee to opposite shoulder, shoulder to opposite knee. Okay, we'll do one more at each side if you're still going. back to center. Once more, lower the head. You can hug your knees in. And then we're going to begin to work the spine going the other direction into extension. So you'll just carefully make your way onto your belly. Good. And we'll take a minute to just stack your hands, rest your forehead. And as we first come down onto our belly, let's just take a couple deep breaths here. Just allowing your body to relax here. Good. And then moving your hands so they're under your shoulders, just next to your body. Elbows will be slightly off of the mat. And then we're going to roll the shoulders back and think of the shoulders sliding down towards your hips to lift your head and chest without using your hands just yet. And then lowering back down. So we inhale, draw the shoulders down, lift the chest, trying to lengthen the neck, and exhale to lower down. So I think of not creating any creases or wrinkles in the back of the neck as the head lifts and lowers. And then lowering down. So we're really trying to create that back bend in the upper back, because we already have a little bit of bending in the lower back and neck naturally. We'll do one more there. Good. And then from there, lift up to your baby swan, and then we're going to bring our elbows under our shoulders. So if this is too high for you, you can always take your elbows out a little wider to lower your chest down. I'm going to draw the shoulders down here. Press your forearms into the mat to lift your body up, and then draw the abdominals in to support you here. And then from there, we're going to kick the right leg towards the butt twice. So it's a kick, kick, and then straighten and lower. And then the other side, kick, kick, and straighten. So you can use your exhale, inhale, straighten. Exhale, inhale, straighten. So we're keeping our pelvis relatively stable, lifting our posture as our priority. And we'll do one more on each side. And then let's lower ourselves back down. And again, you can stack your hands, either rest your forehead or your cheek. And we'll take a couple deep breaths into the belly, using the breath to relax you. And then before I put you to sleep, we'll go into one more exercise on our belly here. So the swimming exercise, the arms are going to reach out in front of you. You can widen your hands if that's more comfortable. And if this position altogether is not comfortable, the arms can be down by your sides. So if you're good with the arms over here, we'll start with a one arm and opposite leg lift from the floor. So as the arm and the opposite leg lift, the head and chest lift, and then we lower everything back down. So we can start with a big, slow range of motion. You may get a little rotation through the spine, so you may feel the shoulder and opposite hip coming towards each other on the back of the body. And again, arms by your side is another option that might feel more comfortable for your neck and shoulders. Do one more on each side like this. Good. Okay, and then one more time, stack the hands. Side of the face or forehead rests for a couple deep breaths. And then we're going to go into some side lying work. So rolling onto your side, find a comfortable position where you can stack up your hips and your shoulders. So it might be laying flat on your arm. You might need a little more support and bend the elbow. And then from there, I'll have you bend your bottom knee just for a little bit of support. So So we're gonna lift the top leg, and then before we start to move, just reach the leg long so that you can feel that your hip bones are stacked on top of one another. And then once you have that position, we'll lift the leg and lower the leg without moving the pelvis. So you can exhale to lift and inhale to lower. And then the next time you bring the leg to approximately hip height, we'll leave it there. And then we're going to point the toes as we kick forward on the inhale, flex the ankle as we kick backward on the exhale. Inhale forward and exhale backward. So we're aiming to keep the hips nice and steady. This one's always a hard one for me. So either hand in front or on the hip to give you a little feedback. Inhale forward and exhale, pressing the leg back without overarching the back. So we need to stay connected on the front of the body. And we'll do 2 more. Good. And then relaxing that leg down, we'll take the top knee in front of us, resting near our belly, and then roll the top shoulder back. If you need a little support for your head, you can hold on to your hand. Just taking a twist here. Nice deep breaths. And then we're gonna roll onto our belly one more time between our sides. So again, resting the hands, the forehead on the hands. We'll press the pubic bone down into the mat. And then just float the legs off the mat. They can be parallel, they can be turned out, they can, wherever is comfortable for you, keeping the knees as straight as you can. And we're just gonna click the heels together. And breathing fluidly here. Trying to relax through the neck and shoulders. Taking one more deep breath. And then resting the legs down. And then from there, we'll make our way onto our other side. So again, finding a comfortable position for your neck. So either resting on the arm or folding the arm. So we'll bend the bottom knee for a little more balance support. And then again, lifting the top leg, reaching it out to set up your hips so they're stacked. You may have a little bit of a lift at the bottom waist there, pulling the abdominals in for support. And we'll start with the leg lift, exhaling up and inhaling down. And with this, you'll feel if you go too high, the pelvis and the spine start to move. So we want to limit our range to the leg movement. And we'll do 2 more there, and then move into the side kick. So the leg is about hip height. We'll point the toes as we kick forward and flex the ankles as we kick back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. So again, trying to keep the hips steady. And we'll do 1 more. And then again, relaxing the leg, straighten the bottom leg, bend the top leg, and we'll take a little twist here. So either holding your bottom, your head with your bottom hand, or just letting it rest. Good. Okay, and then let's make our way onto our hands and knees. So lining up your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. So fists are options here if you have concerns with your wrists. Or you can go with your hands flat, if that works for you. So we're gonna just round the back into a little cat stretch as we exhale, and then inhale to arch the back. Do that one more time, just feeling the roundness of the spine and then the arching of the spine. And then let's come right to the middle of those 2 points. So we feel like we have the natural curves of the back supported here from the abdominals. And then from here, we're going to reach one arm forward, opposite leg back, and lower back down. We'll exhale, reach the arm and leg, and inhale down. So as little shifting as possible. There will be a little bit of movement there. And exhaling to reach forward and inhaling to lower down. All right, we'll do one more on each side here. Lifting up through your posture. And then we'll just press back into a child's pose position. Okay, and then we're going to finish with a couple seated exercises. So if you're comfortable with your legs out in front of you, we'll sit here. If you need to prop up, you can lift up on a blanket. Roll your mat up, or you can sit with your legs crossed if that's more comfortable for you. So choose a position that allows you to be as upright as possible. And we'll take the arms out to the side, trying to relax the shoulders down a little, and just lift up as tall as you can through your posture. And then as we exhale, we'll rotate from the rib cage, and then inhale, come back to center. So as we rotate from the ribs, the hips and legs, in theory, stay still. So you're rotating from above the pelvis. Exhaling as you twist and inhaling to center. And we'll do one more on each side. And then allowing the arms to rest down. And then taking a side bend here, we'll lift one arm up, get really long through that side, and then keeping the hips both heavy on the mat, side bend over. And coming back, we'll inhale, lift the arm, and breathe into the side body that's lengthening, and then exhale to come back. Inhale, and exhale. If you can, think of this as a lengthening stretch, so it's not collapsing into the side that's shortening. We'll do one more on each side here, inhaling and exhaling, and last one. And releasing here. Good, again, relaxing the arms a little bit here. So our last exercise is the spine stretch forward. So we'll reach the arms forward, and we want to think about moving the spine forward rather than flexing at the hips. So you're going to keep your pelvis still. We'll nod the chin toward the chest, round the shoulders forward, round the ribs forward without collapsing into the thighs, reaching forward. And then inhaling to restack the spine upright here, all the way to the top. So maybe imagine your head against an imaginary wall, and we peel off that imaginary wall behind us. And then we inhale, restack the spine from bottom to top against that wall behind us. We'll do two more. Exhaling as we nod the chin, round the shoulders, round the ribs, reaching for length of the spine. And then exhaling back up. One last time. And back up. Good. And this last time, let's just fold forward over the legs. Let the arms come to rest. The head and neck relaxes. And just taking one more deep breath in here. And then lifting yourself back up. And we're all finished for today. Thanks so much for practicing. If you enjoyed it, check out the other videos we have and any meditations you'd like to try. Thanks so much. Have a great day.